Welcome to True Heart Makes Media with Lions Youth Ambassador Joel True Heart II on 1300 AM WIMG, Trenton Talks Radio, sponsored by WIMG 1300 AM on Tuesdays at 7. You can catch us on Facebook as well on Thursdays at 7 p.m. on my professional Facebook profile under Gerald Trueheart. And I am elated today to have our guest on, Brother Henry Baker. And man, I love your work. I love your philosophy and your mission. And this brother has started organizations in the capital city, Visionary Philanthropy Group. His mission to revolutionize access to technology in underserved communities. But before we get into where he is right now in his life, I want him to share where he's come from and what has strengthened him and what has given him resolve to come back and begin to sow seed into the community. Brother Baker, give us your background.
All right. Thank you, Gerald, for having me. It's a pleasure to be here on your platform. First and foremost, just to let everyone know, who's speaking. My name is Yenin Henry Baker. A lot of people know me as Henry, so a lot of people don't know that Yenin is my first name and the N is silent. So, I just I want everyone to welcome me and, just to let them know who's speaking, because some people might be like, oh, okay, Henry's speaking. But then if I say Yenin, they might not know, who Yenin is. So yes, I just wanted to, address that. But so let me dive into my story, briefly. So I'm from North Trenton. I grew up in a drug-infested, violent neighborhood out North Trenton on a street called Trent Avenue off of Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard. Back when I moved along with my family out North Trenton, it was called Princeton Avenue. But I grew up out there with my two sisters, with my parents, and my parents are immigrants from Liberia. So my parents, they were strict. I went to St. James Catholic School from first grade to eighth grade. My parents were so strict. We got out of school at 2:30. They wanted us home by 2:45 p.m. So if we weren't home by 2:45 p.m., we got a butt whipping. So we got plenty of those. But one of the key things I want to say is my whole life turned when my dad moved back to Liberia. One night, my two sisters were doing their homework, and I came and stood in front of them, and I pulled out a plastic sandwich bag filled with crushed aspirins, and I pulled out a stack of $1 bills with a $20 bill on top, and I said, "I'm gonna be a drug dealer." And my sister started laughing. Eventually, I became that drug dealer. So the day my dad left, I was excited. I was happy. I was so excited. I threw a pizza party downtown at DeVito's.
DeVito's, right?
Yeah, just in case no one know. Some people don't know. It was a pizza shop downtown. So I'm celebrating, and I treated a lot of the guys that I was close to pizza, and we played video games at the time, and I was celebrating. And no one knew I was celebrating, but little did I know I was celebrating my demise. So, once my dad left, I started to get in trouble. I started to get bullied. I played basketball. I was great at it. Basketball was my escape. By sixth grade, I was already on probation. By the end of eighth grade, I seen my first murder. By ninth grade, I'm at McCorston Catholic High School, and not even 2 weeks, I was suspended and expelled. So now I'm up Trenton High. Trenton High is a fashion show. I'm happy to be there. It's a lot going on, a lot of temptation. A lot of my peers are, selling drugs. They come into school with fancy cars, and, my environment, it's, drug infested. A lot of my peers and, older guys, you know, they making a lot of money right in front of me. And, you know, I was playing basketball my freshman year at Trenton High, but all this going on and temptation got the best of me. I started selling drugs my freshman year. And, you know, I started selling drugs, disrespecting my mom, staying out late, just doing what I wanted to do. And, you know, my parents came with a immaculate plan. And that plan was to trick me to go to Liberia. And, you know, I end up falling for that trick. But that was the greatest gift I ever got in my life. That trip, you know, going to Liberia. I ended up staying for a year. You know, it opened my eyes, you know, on a global scale. So that's why, you know, I see the world globally, and I have a you know, international mentality now because of that gift that my parents gave me. So I ended up staying a year. I ended up coming back a year later. My first day, started selling drugs. My first day, 100 miles per hour. You know, months later, age 17, I get into my first shootout. This shootout, I became fearless. You know, I became a gangster. You know, as I said, I used to get bullied, but I told myself after this shootout, no one's ever going to bully me again. If anybody mess with my friends, mess with me or my family, they're going to get dealt with. And that's the mentality that, you know, that I accumulated, you know, because of this, my environment, because of this shootout. So by age 20, I, you know, had my first drug arrest for selling drugs. And by 22, I tried to change my life. I started working, but working wasn't working for me. So I started selling bootleg CDs. I was doing great at it. And, you know, at one point in time, I had accumulated $80,000 just for selling bootleg CDs. So I started selling DVDs, and I started selling clothes and sneakers and Timberlands and things like that. But trouble always comes to find me. One night on a notorious street in Trenton, two guys tried to rob me. So the guy, you know, says, "Give it up, Unksco." So Unksco was my name on the streets. My name was Unksco Bar, and they for short called me Unksco. So I told the guy, "You got to bust me. I'm not giving nothing up." So what I mean by bust me, I said, "You got to shoot me." So anyway, I ended up getting away. Those guys didn't take anything from me, and I ended up getting away. That same night, I caught up with one of the guys, and I shot and almost killed him. So because of this irrational decision that I made, there was 4 attempts made on my life, or that was put on my, you know, that happened to me. And, you know, I think after the 4th attempt, those guys got the memo that I was the real deal. The reason why I say that, because each time these guys tried to come kill me, you know, I was shooting back, and those guys were running. So this guy was a high blood ranking, a high ranking blood member. And, you know, I basically went to war, you know, with these gang members all by myself. So, you know, I continued to sell drugs. You know, I basically had to get back into the drug game because I didn't take advantage of legal opportunity or just legal employment. And, you know, I started doing well for myself, selling drugs again. And one night, partying with Allen Iverson in Philadelphia in the old city, I came to Allen Iverson. I said, "Allen Iverson, how much money I need to get out the drug game?" So Allen Iverson said, "You got to feel it in the air." So the reason why I came to Allen Iverson and asked him that question was because I was getting so much money, I was having nightmares of the feds. I was you know, having nightmares of these killers trying to come kill me. I wanted out, but there was no way out. So I continued to sell drugs, and finally I moved down to Atlanta, and I opened up a clothing store. Clothing store was doing well, but then I had 5 burglaries that set me back. So, you know, because of this setback, I, you know, jumped back into the drug game again. I was introduced to a drug connect in California, cocaine and marijuana connect. And, you know, I started making the most money I ever made in my life. And at my peak, I was making about 400,000 every 4 days, going, coming from driving to California, Los Angeles, California, and bringing back the drugs, to Trenton, New Jersey. So anyway, that I had a 3-year run. That run came to an end February 24th, 2010. I was arrested by the FBI and at Philadelphia International Airport. And say about 9 months later, my mom came to see me. I had to be the bearer of bad news and tell my mom that I was about to cop out to 15 years in prison. So when I told my mom, my mom, that hurt my mom. My mom started crying. That was the worst day of my life. So the next week, I was sentenced to 15 years in federal prison. But sentencing day was one of the most powerful days of my life. Why? Because number one, they couldn't break me. And number one, that's when I made that decision to, change my life, start my vision, start my plan. And that plan and vision was to come home and change as many lives as possible and stop many lives as possible from going down the path that I went. So while, in prison, I, started working on myself. I told myself, hey, I got 15 years to work on my weakness and flaws and come home to be great. So I, just started working on myself, self-educating myself and doing a lot of things, taking advantage of the programs that were there. I was doing college out of my paying, out of my pocket to do all basically correspondent college courses and just doing everything I had to do to become great. And for 11 years I fought in the federal court system. I lost, and finally, 11 years later, I won my 2 appeals, which was first home confinement, and then the second one was my compassionate release appeal. I won that, and I gave all my time back. So I came home, October 23rd, 2020. So once I came home, I just started, just getting my life together. I had to start life over like basically a brand new baby. I didn't even have an ID when I came home. So, I started, just trying to seek employment and things like that, getting dead end jobs. Couldn't even get a job at Giant. A lot of, few jobs that I didn't like, just wasn't, it didn't fit me. So, I started doing motivational speaking at first. At first, I couldn't even, speak to the youth. Couldn't even get an opportunity. People were, just spinning me, wouldn't give me the opportunity. Finally, my mentor, John Day, gave me an opportunity. That opportunity was presented to me by a friend named Stephen Vereen. We call him Scrub, from Donnelly Homes. He gave me the opportunity, introduced me to my mentor, John Day. And that's basically how I started doing motivational speaking. And, I did well with my motivational speech at John Day's youth empowerment event that day at the YMCA on Pennington Avenue. But, I just started, life at the prison, just started, executing my plans. My Coach Dillard, he helped me in a tremendous way. I called him because he was there at the YMCA the day I spoke. He told me, if you need anything, let me know. So I, once I was ready to, continue to form my nonprofit, I called Coach Dillard, and Coach Dillard, introduced me to a mentor of by the name of Maurice Coleman, and that opened some big doors. That opened some big doors for me. Opened up some big doors for me, and I just started, executing, and a lot of doors started opening for me, and it created a lot of relationships. I started, just going hard at starting my nonprofit, creating my vision, and just to end it with this, I was working at Amazon, and I was working at Amazon warehouse. I had moved down to Owens Mills, Maryland, but I was working in Baltimore, and I had seen an opportunity, a tech opportunity that Amazon was, basically promoting. So I took that test for this tech career opportunity, and I failed it with flying colors because the test was very hard. It was asking some coding questions and just some hard questions that the average person wouldn't be able to attest. The average person wouldn't be able to pass. So I seen right through that test. I said, Amazon is playing games. They just basically, throwing this opportunity out there. They know the average person is going to fail this test. And then, the opportunity is no longer an opportunity. So, I read right through it. So I said, you know what? By then, my nonprofit was running, but, I wasn't nowhere where I'm at now. And I said, you know what? That sparked the fire in me to say, I'm going to create a lot of partnerships with tech companies, tech executives, and anyone in the tech industry. And I'm going to get as many tech opportunities and bring them to the underserved communities so that I will try, to avoid people going through what I just went through. And, that's basically, discrimination, just lack of opportunities, giving to us. Basically, we should have the training, right? We should be able to get the training and then have the opportunity to get this, career or whatever. So basically, that's what sparked the tech partnerships and the tech vision in my head. So, with this vision, I basically, created 3 program partnerships with Google, one with Microsoft, one with Girls Who Code, and I'm still going. So, basically that's where that vision of, from the tech basically came from. So, there's a lot of other things, that I could talk about. We probably talk about later on, but, that's basically, my background in a nutshell.
Hey, bro, it sounds to me, man, the good fight out of adversity, brother. I mean, you've been through so many challenges in your life, and that most people can't even imagine going through. But you were able to come through it. And I remember you sharing this story once before about your experience in the city of Trenton and the fights that you had to fight in terms of, whether it be Bloods or whether it be dealing with drugs or whatever it might be in terms of the street life, that street culture. And so for you to come back after all of that experience that you had, right, to come back to the city of Trenton and to give back, how does that make you feel, brother? To be able, and not only that, but let's put that into context. Your struggle, your good fight of faith, coming out of an adversarial environment, adversarial situation, in the environment that you were in, coming back, starting your nonprofit, Visionary Philanthropy Group (VPG), which mission is to revolutionize access to technology in underserved communities, and be able to partner with Google, Microsoft, Girls Who Code. What kind of feeling do you get out of that, man? How do you express that, man, to young people and to people, to me? I mean, to old folk, to young folk, all folk.
The first thing, it just it's a powerful feeling, but I gotta, I gotta thank God, because without him, none of this would be possible. God had the vision, everything I've been through, and it's so touching because, tears starting to come to my eyes, but everything, man,
I got you,
everything
brother.
I've been through, it was God had a plan for me. I couldn't see it, but it's just powerful, man, and unbelievable, 4 attempts on my life, going through being sentenced to 15 years, just coming home, just being in prison, creating my vision, executing my plans, working on everything, and just seeing it, coming to fruition, man. It's just amazing, man. I tell people, I'm a visionary. I can't make this thing up. This thing this is bigger than me. This is all God's plan, man. I'm a warrior, man. I'm a commander in chief.
Amen.
I always, stood on principles, man. I've been hard headed. I learned my lesson. But this everything is just God's just been blessing me, and just showed me, what I was put on earth to do, and that's what I'm doing, man.
You're a walking testimony to that scripture that says, "Walk by faith and not by sight." You're a testimony to that, man, because you couldn't see it, but God had a plan for you, and He's working it. He's still working it out. He's still working it out. It's not even finished yet, man. This story is not even finished, man. You have so many great things that you're doing right now. I mean, with coding with young folk, man. I mean, so sharing that feeling, right? And I'm so glad, man. You're so transparent, so open, man. And that's what people want to see: transparent and open. How are you able, right? How are you able? I know God led you and guided you. You're walking by faith, not by sight. But tell us about the journey to partnerships with companies like Google and Microsoft and Girls Who Code, and then couple that with your nonprofit, and then being able to transform that relationship and that collaboration with those companies to empowering young girls, empowering young men, youth in our city, who you're just about to launch into May this month, going up to New York, and you have all these different programs that are coming to fruition, right, this month. A lot of things happening this month. Tell us about that walk of faith.
So, the first day that I started, on that vision and dream, when I said, you know what, Amazon playing games, I'm going to try to make sure that, I can try to bring these tech opportunities into the underserved community. So the first night that I started working on that vision, before that, I was on the phone with Italia Armstrong, and I had, I was pitching to her to see if she, wanted to become a board member on my, on my nonprofit board. And, we talked, and I told her my plans, besides me pitching to her to become a board member. I said, right after I hang up with you, I'm about to, start the research of my plan and vision to, partner with, tech companies and, tech executives, tech gurus, whoever that's, affiliated, any decision makers affiliated in the tech industry. And I told her, once I hang up, I'm about to start that research, and I told her, the main objective and what I was going to do. And I kid you not, soon I hung up, I started my research that night. And, I came across, some information, and I got in touch with my, one of the engineers of my Google partner. My Google partner name is Richard Ashe. He's the founder and creator of Google Breakbeat Code. But I got in touch with one of the engineers on his team, and I automatically emailed him. And when I emailed him the next day, he emailed me back and was like, how do you, do you want to come up to Google and have a meeting? And I was like, absolutely. And I had the meeting, and the meeting, went well. I was asking, some great questions, and the questions I was asking him, he couldn't answer it. I was asking some decision-making questions, and some executive questions. He couldn't answer it. So he said, you know what, I'm going to, have you set up a meeting with the founder. And the next day, me and the founder had that meeting, my partner, and he was like, what's your vision? We talked, and he was like, what's your vision? And I'm like, this is my vision. I'm bring the opportunities to the underserved communities all throughout this country and the world, and this and that. And as I said, because of that great gift my parents, gave me, this is the main reason why, my vision is global. And he was like, man, we on board, because they are already in 20 plus countries. So I just went right along with their vision and mission and things like that. And ever since then, we've been became partners, just from that meeting. So overall, as he got to know me and he's seen that I was the above and beyond type of man that I am, and he's seen me working, and he came to me and asked me to be a board member. He was like, man, I love your hustle, man. Like, can I be a board member? And I was like, absolutely. But he was like, man, I respect your hustle. Like, he always tell people, when we first met, I told him, hey, I got like 6 different nonprofit partners that's going to be in his meeting, right? And he said, he hear that all the time from people, right? He said, when we had that meeting, I had those 6 nonprofit partners in that meeting. He was like, man, this guy is really about his business. This guy is about his word. And not only did he just see that, as he started working with me, he's seen that I go above and beyond. I'm a man of my word, and the rest is history. So that's that's basically how. And then as I we got to know each other more. We strengthened our relationship, and we did some Google Breakbeat Code hackathons. We did one in Trenton, and he came down, and then we did another one also that was done virtually. And I basically it takes a lot of work to do this stuff, and with the help of my team, I made things happen, so he's seeing that, once again, I'm the real deal. So that's basically how I got the 3 program partnerships, with Google. And then, Microsoft, a friend of mine, he's a bank lobbyist, that came from Coach Dillard, introduced me to Maurice Coleman, and Maurice Coleman introduced me to another young man who was like a close friend, and he's on my board and a mentor as well. He introduced me to some guy who gave me, the opportunity to establish that Microsoft, partnership. And Girls Who Code, I was introduced by a mentor from a program director who works at the Success program at Rutgers Camden, and he basically, introduced me to the Girls Who Code organization, and that's how that partnership created. But overall, people saying that I was dead serious. I was a man of my word. I was about my business. So that's how the rest of those partnerships were created.
So let's talk about the Hackathon 2024 initiative, this summer initiative that's happening later this month, actually in a couple of weeks, right? Actually, when is it? It's actually May 31st.
Next Friday.
Next Friday. I'm thinking this month. It's coming up. Next week. And he's taking 50 students to Google in New York City, man. What a great opportunity for our young people as you connect with Google and Microsoft and others and Girls Who Code and so forth. But going up to Google, man, and doing this work, what are the students saying and the parents saying about this trip?
So first of all, the opportunity was given to me at the last minute, and I took advantage of it. I said I'm going to do it. And I was under a lot of pressure, but I tell people I perform my best under pressure. So I think the opportunity was given to me probably like May 3rd or May 4th or something like that. So anyway, I knew I was up for a challenge, right?
Yes.
And I didn't know that I would have got the hardest part, which was the recruitment of the 50 students this fast. But I say all that to say, the seats are filled up. We're filled to capacity. So, that's the hardest part, recruiting students, to go on a trip. So that's that part of this trip is, fulfilled, and that's done. And to answer your question, we have our bus reserved for the trip. And to answer your question, the parents and students are reacting, in a positive way. They see the big opportunity. So, even up to now, a lot of people are still asking, even though the deadline is done and, the seats are filled up. But there's just more room for a bigger trip next time. Maybe more than likely I'll probably do 100 the next time. But it's been a great I've been getting great feedback from it. And just like the question you asked me, how did I feel just doing everything and everything I've been through? This is just so surreal. Being able to, I went just to let everyone know, I did a trip to Google last year with one student. I did an essay, that student won. His name was Azarian Neller. He goes to Foundation Academy. And I took him to Google last year, Google and Wall Street. One kid to Google and Wall Street. Now this year I'm doing 50 students. This is so surreal.
Awesome work, man. Awesome work. And the fact that you did it in such a short order is a testimony to your resolve and to your hard work to get it done, to see it through.
Thank you.
Right? See it through,
Appreciate
man.
it.
See it through. See it all the way through. And I had up on the screen of your GoFundMe page. So if people are interested in donating, please go to the GoFundMe page. We'll try to put the link in the broadcast on Facebook broadcast. As a matter of fact, we probably should get it out. We'll try to get it out soon. I'll get it out on my Facebook profile right after this broadcast or sometime later this evening, so folks can continue to contribute to this activity, the Summer Jam Breakbeat Code Hackathon.
Yes,
at Google
absolutely.
in New
And I
York
just want
City.
to, give an update on the status of. So basically, we're doing a fundraiser for this, for this trip, where our goal is to raise $20,000. As of right now, we've almost raised about $9,000, and the some of the funds will go towards the trip, and the remaining will go towards the cost of operation programs and just things to operate our nonprofit. We've been doing great with donations. I want to thank everyone that continue to support us, continue to give us exposure. I want to thank my mentor Brian Evans, the CEO of Father Center, New Jersey, Trenton Deli, Angelica Stern, for all that great help and great support. Kamal Bafla from Mike, my
Take your time, brother. We got time. Take your time.
My brain's going is going blank, but but forgive me. But Kamal Bafla, forgive me. My brain is
That's all right. That's all right, brother.
Frozen right now.
It's all right. It'll come back to you.
Maestro Technology. Yeah, my apologies. But so a lot of other people that I just want to thank. I want to thank my board for the great help that they're giving me, and we're getting ready for this big trip. A lot of hard work. I've been swamped, overwhelmed with it, and we're getting things done.
That's excellent. Now talk about your relationship and your partnership with St. Michael's Episcopal Church right here in the capital city of Trenton. I understand they are sponsoring some rooms where you're there to host various technology initiatives with students. So let's talk about what's happening around. Are you doing training students in coding?
Okay, so thanks to St. Michael's Episcopal Church, first and foremost. Also, I want to thank Harry Jackendorf, for his great help and support of making all these things happen for us to even have the opportunity to, be there to have our programs. So May 29th is the date that we'll be launching the Girls Who Code. That will be on Wednesday. I believe that's Wednesday, 4:30 to 5:30, 4:30 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. Also, June 5th, let me back up. May 29th,
yes.
We'll start off with the young ladies grades 3 to 5, and then June 5th will be for the young ladies grades 6 to 12, and that'll be the same thing, 4:30 to 5:30 on Wednesdays.
And this is in
It's a
your
club.
partnership. This is in your partnership with Girls Who Code. So this is the other part, the third partnership. Microsoft, of course, Google, and now Girls Who Code. So
Yes,
that's within that line with the partnership.
yes,
Go ahead, brother. I'm sorry.
absolutely.
Go ahead. Mhm.
And the Girls Who Code is going to be a club, so it's going to be an ongoing program. So anyone we're basically getting funding for the programs that we do. So donations is definitely appreciated appreciated rather, excuse me. And so we're going to basically have a sisterhood for the young ladies, where they can learn coding, and it's just so many opportunities that's going to come for the young ladies. And we're basically going to create a space for them to learn coding and really be creative and think bigger, and just dream, and the whole objective is to get them into the tech industry.
So
So
most of your students, City of Trenton residents, or students, or you have students coming around from different Mercer County school and districts and areas.
as of right now, a majority are from Trenton. Sometimes we do get students from outside of Trenton, but in the Mercer County area. So we're basically, like, our programs, if, like, for example, the Google Break B Code, if there's something done virtually, we have students from all over, because there's the Google Break B Code hackathon is done worldwide, so people just join in all around the world. So, but in person, just to answer your question, we get a lot of the Trenton students, or the Mercer County students.
Excellent,
But
excellent.
and
That's
then
good.
last thing, not to cut your thought, my
No, go
apologies.
ahead, brother. This is go ahead.
We our main goal is to provide our services all throughout the country and the world as well. And while I'm on that, speaking of that, we've also partnered with Latino Spirit Media, and this partnership entails we're going to be doing Google Break Decode in South America, and over six countries, six Spanish speaking countries.
Excellent.
So basically, what Latino Spirit Media, what they will be doing is interpreting the Break B Code in Spanish, and we call that Break B Code Spanish. So that's something we're doing internationally. We're about to seal the deal on that, and be starting in more than likely in a few weeks, probably less than a month. So this is major for all of us. Google Break B Code, Visionary Philanthropy Group Inc., Latino Spirit Media. I want to shout out the founder and executive director of Latino Spirit Media, Diego Maya, for bringing me into this big opportunity. So I just want to let the audience know that we're not just doing things in Trenton. We really are making an impact throughout the world, and we're going to continue to do that. And while I'm on that topic, I just wanted to just tell the audience our mission. Our mission is to empower the 8.1 billion people on the planet, at-risk youth, returning citizens, and those in need of opportunities, food, and shelter, by teaching tech and necessary skills all around the world to achieve self-sufficiency and stability. So we know, for those that don't know me, we don't just talk about it. We get things done, and that's just the cloth that I'm cut from.
Amen.
I'm just doing what I'm put on this earth to do.
We have a mission saying here, that's where the rubber meets the road. You know what I mean? That's where real action takes place. You can talk all you
Absolutely.
want, but when the rubber meets the road, that you on the ground level, man, doing the work. So that's what you're doing. I appreciate you. Hey, how does the violence prevention and intervention program connect with the coding part? Let's talk about that connection.
Okay, so I'm glad you brought that up because I forgot about that. So we have a violence prevention and intervention program, and actually we have our second one tomorrow. So and that's part of the trip that I'm having on May 31st. We won a grant with the Trenton street team and Owls, and what that my violence prevention and intervention program basically, I experienced violence and my, tenure in the streets, right? So
Yeah.
my whole curriculum is based upon my experience with, broken down in curriculum form. So I'm just giving, the youth and adults tools and the tools to use on how to be able to pass tests that I failed, and how to circumvent danger, circumvent arguments, fights, whatever the case may be, but the overall goal is to, prevent violence, give you the tools to, just see things from afar. But the main thing is to, give people the tools to be able to have self-control, because that was my worst weakness. I didn't have self-control. I was controlled like a puppet. But now what makes me so powerful, I have self-control. I've mastered that. So that's basically the main things of my violence prevention and intervention program. And it comes with more, but that's the main things. So also the violence prevention. We also have another program called Returning Citizens Motivation 101. We have the partnership with the City of Trenton Office of Returning Citizens. And that's another program I created based in this. I'm just giving the returning citizens, motivation, encouragement. And it's based upon my life after prison. And, give them the adversities and hurdles that I've been through. And every situation or example has motivation to it, and basically, I'm going on my 7th workshop. I have 10 to do, and I'm going on my 7th one. So basically just encouraging the guys, giving them motivation, and I also have some resources that I give them as well. And we just, we build and connect, and I tell them to, stay connected with me, because I'm working for you. So your job is to stay connected with me, and put me to work, So but I think it was something else that I missed that you asked. What was that about the violence prevention?
Well, I think you really hit the nail on the head, man, when you talked about reentry. You talked about not only the reentry part, but the part about how you share your story, right, with young folks and folks of all ages who are dealing with situations and circumstances that you may have even dealt with, where you can help them to de-escalate or to have the right attitude and right thinking around the situation that they might be in, and strategies to overcome that particular issue or challenge that they're facing. And those challenges and issues are sometimes, as you know, insurmountable. Sometimes you can get over it, man, but it's going to take a lot of effort and de-escalation and the right attitude to get over some of those hurdles, especially in the environment, right, in the culture that some of us are living in at this time. And so, with you being that foothold, who've had that experience, 15 years, 11 years, coming back, being coming back into reentry, going through that experience, I mean, that holds a lot of weight and holds a lot of water for folks who are experiencing what you experienced prior to your reentry. So that's amazing. And then
Thank you.
you work around with the NAACP, with your work on the prison. I guess it's more a reentry initiative as well with NAACP here at the capital city of Trenton, New Jersey. you have that new post as well. So tell us about Trenton State Prison and Mercer County Correctional Facilities and how that's working.
Okay, so last Monday, I was voted in as chairman of the prison branch, of the Trenton prison branch of the NAACP. So what that chairman of the Trenton prison branch of the NAACP entails is some of the duties that I will be doing is I'll be going to the Trenton State Prison, Mercer County Correctional Center facility rather, and advocating for inmates' rights. And if, like, for example, if I get a whiff of inmates, their rights being violated, I basically will go, take the steps and go through the channels of advocating for these inmates' rights and bringing it to the attention, of the Attorney General's office and whoever else that handles these kind of circumstances and situations. So basically, and it's going to be more where I'm, like I said, I just got voted in last Monday. So it's more that I'm going to be learning of what I'm doing. So that's one of the main things. So we're basically now, just getting everything set up, and I'm getting informed of, my roles and everything that I'm going to be doing. So I'm still, becoming privy of what else I'm going to be doing. But that's some of the main things that I'm going to be doing. And it's an honor, because I was doing that in prison. First of all, I was standing up for myself as an inmate. For myself, I can't speak for nobody else. For my whole 11 years, most COs, disrespected me and humiliated me. Not all of them, but I have to bring that to the world's attention. That's just how the game goes. I'm not saying all of them. You got some great COs, but it wasn't much that I came across. You know what I mean? But you have some great ones though. That respect you, and I never asked for much. I just want to be respected, but a lot of them, try to humiliate you. And, but I stood up for myself while I was in prison, far as with, bringing it to the whoever's attention, far as senators or whatever, things like that. I was, violated in a way where I had to, write Cory Booker, Senator Cory Booker. My apologies, Senator Cory Booker. And I was in Allenwood Federal Prison, White Deer, Pennsylvania. He called on my behalf. He had his staff call as well. He wrote me. So, I've been doing this. First of all, like I said, I've been advocating for myself. Then I started advocating for other inmates. It was a lot of racism and discrimination going on where I was at. So, God just basically gave me this position because he know where my heart and passion's at. So, yeah, so that's the history. That's the history of this position.
Are you right? You did pick the right person for that
Absolutely.
Position. Yeah, definitely. And kudos to Trenton NAACP and Austin Edwards, the current president of Trenton chapter and branch, and all the members of NAACP, Larry Trailer, and I can name, I'll get Corinne Grooms, and I can start naming names. I'll get in trouble. I'll miss somebody, right?
And I definitely want to shout out, President Austin Edwards and Vice President Larry Trailer. I appreciate those guys for giving me the opportunity, believing in me, seeing seeing me in that position, so I really appreciate them. And I thank God for those guys. God bless everyone. God bless them, for putting me in this position to be able to make impact, so I want to thank those guys.
we're gonna definitely have you come back because you're getting started. You've had a long journey, brother. You've been walking by faith, not by sight, and you're seeing the fruit of that labor and the fruit of that seed that you planted and watered. And so we want to certainly have you come back as you continue that walk of faith and continue to walk in your partnerships and your collaborations that you've established and continue that hard work, and bear the fruit of that labor. You know.
Yes, and absolutely. I just want to give a shout out to the superintendent James Earl. He's been a great help, to our nonprofit. Last year we had a Google Break Me Code hackathon. He donated some laptops, so I really appreciate him, and I just want to really thank him for his great help. Also, I want to thank former Governor McGreevy for just helping me, giving me being a mentor, giving me opportunities to just continue to make impact. So I appreciate everyone that's been helping me on my journey, and I thank you, Brother Gerald, for giving me this opportunity to be on your platform and being able to share my story and let people know what Visionary Philanthropy Group Inc. is doing. And I just want to thank the audience for giving me your ear and being able to listen to my story. And it's amazing. So thanks, Gerald. I really appreciate
No,
you.
you're welcome, man. You're blessed and highly favored, man. Blessed from the crown of your head to the soles of your feet, man. Everything working in
Oh,
your
one
favor.
more thing.
Go
I
ahead, brother.
forgot.
Go
My
ahead. Yep.
apologies.
Yes.
Today is my mom's birthday.
Happy birthday. Right?
Yes, happy birthday, Mom. Mrs. Esther Baker. She's 75 years old today. She could have no better birthday than to see her son doing, some great things in the world. Everything I came from, being in trouble a billion times, now on your birthday, she's able to, see her son really doing good. And that's a great birthday. So I want to wish my mom, a happy 75th birthday. And, I love her to death. And she's one of the main reasons why, I go so hard, and, I'm relentless. And also, I just want to tell the audience, I have a movement, and it's called Nerds with Swag, right? And basically, Nerds with Swag is just, telling youth and adults that we are nerds. We just nerds with swag, right? And I don't want no one to be embarrassed about saying they're nerds, because I speak to youth, a lot of youth and adults, and a lot of them don't think they're nerds. But I say, after I tell them my story, I say, I'm a nerd. I'm just a nerd with swag. LeBron James a nerd. He's a nerd with swag. Oprah's a nerd. She's just a nerd with swag, right? So after I tell them my story, I give them a little bit more confidence to say, hey, I'm a nerd,
Right.
But I want to finish off with my acronym. What I, came up with is, for nerds, is a lifestyle that I live. And the acronym for nerds means never ending relentlessness determines success.
Amen.
That's what nerds stand for. And that's the lifestyle that I live. Never ending relentlessness determines success.
Amen. We're gonna end right there, man. That's a perfect way to end the broadcast. I pray on the God that our listening audience, 1300 AM WIMG, amen. Music for the Soul, 5 times stellar award-winning gospel station with Yaim Baker, Henry Baker. We appreciate you, brother, being here, man, and just being a part of this broadcast and sharing so passionately, man, your story, how things made you feel, and how you grew, right? How you developed, and as you grew, and then as you grew, man, you begin to give back, man, and just that heart of giving is so powerful to our youth and powerful to everyone who's listening right now and will be listening to this broadcast and to this conversation that we're having. And continue the great work. You'll be back. We have more work to do with you to come back and share some more of the successes that you've had and continue to have in this great capital city and in the region around the world. So we thank you so much for being here this afternoon. Amen. On this broadcast on 1300 AM WIMG Tuesday at 7 p.m. And then on my professional Facebook profile on Thursday at 7 p.m. You've been listening to True Heart Makes Media with Lions Youth Ambassador Joel Trueheart II on 1300 AM WIMG Trenton Talks Radio, sponsored weekly by 1300 WIMG Music for the Soul. God bless you. God bless you. God bless you. We'll see you next week. God bless.